The industry didn't announce it. No stage confirmed it. Yet one quiet rumor was enough to shake millions of hearts worldwide. If Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan truly appear in the same space again, nothing will feel the same. It began without noise. No headline banners. No official press release. Just a subtle ripple moving through fan communities late at night. A whispered possibility. A scheduled coincidence. A single phrase repeated in hushed tones. Same event, same night. For years, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan have existed in parallel. Both shining, both powerful, yet carefully separated by time, circumstance, and silence. So when their names appeared side by side in conversations surrounding Weibo Night 2026, the reaction was immediate and visceral. Fans didn't scream at first. They froze. Because hope, when it returns after a long absence, can feel more terrifying than disappointment. Social media timelines filled not with celebration, but disbelief. Is this real? Should we even talk about this? What if we're wrong? This wasn't excitement alone. It was memory awakening. Weibo Night is not just another award show. It is a cultural mirror where every appearance is calculated, every camera angle intentional. And the idea that two of the most emotionally charged figures in modern Chinese pop culture could share that space again. It felt unreal. But once the spark ignited, there was no stopping it. The fandom didn't create the emotion. They simply released what had been held in for years. And from that moment on, the countdown, unspoken, unofficial, had already begun. To understand why this moment feels so explosive, you have to understand the weight of their names. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan are not just celebrities. They are symbols of two journeys that once intersected deeply and then diverged under the brightest, most unforgiving spotlight. Each has grown in different directions, different projects, different public narratives, different silences. Yet no matter how far the paths stretched apart, the emotional connection within the fandom never dissolved. It simply went quiet, and quiet, in fandom culture, is never empty. It is heavy. So when Weibo Night 2026 became associated with both names, even without confirmation, the emotional archives reopened. Old clips resurfaced. Subtle moments were reanalyzed, not to prove anything, but to remember. This is why the reaction feels disproportionate to outsiders. Because this isn't about a stage appearance. It's about unresolved chapters. For international fans, especially women who grew with these stories, this moment feels personal. They remember where they were when everything changed. They remember the sudden distance. They remember learning to stay quiet, to support from afar. And now, suddenly, there's a door slightly open. Not a promise, not a reunion, just possibility. And possibility, when it carries years of emotional investment, can feel overwhelming. The industry may call it coincidence. Fans call it fate flirting with memory. What intensifies this moment even further is the absence of explanation. No clarification, no calming statement, no official voice stepping in to frame the narrative. In the entertainment world, silence is never accidental. Silence is a vacuum, and vacuums pull emotions in. Every small movement suddenly feels amplified. A schedule update that means nothing. A repost that isn't connected. A neutral appearance that would normally pass unnoticed. Fans are not hunting for proof. They're listening to the atmosphere. Because after years of emotional distance, even the faintest shift feels seismic. What's remarkable this time is the restraint. There is no chaos-driven speculation. No aggressive tagging. No demands disguised as hope. Instead, there's collective caution. Because the fandom has learned something important. Some stories break when they're forced. So now, people are choosing to wait, quietly, respectfully, while holding space for possibility without turning it into pressure. Weibo Night itself carries symbolic weight. It is not an intimate gathering. It is a public strategic stage where every appearance sends a message, intended or not. And that's why this rumored alignment feels dangerous in the most delicate way. If they simply exist within the same event timeline, if the cameras acknowledge them without drama, if their names are spoken without separation, That alone would speak louder than any statement ever could. Because sometimes the most powerful message is not reunion. It is recognition. What we are witnessing is not just a fandom reacting. It is a global emotional response shaped by years of quiet endurance. International audiences, especially women who grew alongside these stories, understand this feeling deeply. They've lived through waiting arcs, unspoken endings, stories that faded without resolution. For many, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan became symbols of a time when fandom felt intense, immersive, and emotionally honest. And then, suddenly, everything slowed. Support continued, but from a distance. Love remained, but in silence. That kind of emotional discipline changes people. So now, when the possibility of shared space emerges, the reaction isn't screaming excitement. It's something heavier. It's nostalgia mixed with maturity, hope tempered by realism, emotion balanced with respect. The industry often underestimates this kind of fandom evolution, but this moment exposes it clearly. Fans are no longer asking for spectacle. They're asking for dignity. If this moment happens, let it happen without performance, without narrative manipulation, without forcing meaning where none is offered. Because even the smallest acknowledgement, a shared venue, a neutral frame, a passing moment, would already feel monumental. Not because it rewrites the past, but because it honors it. And honoring the past in fandom culture is one of the deepest forms of closure. So what remains now is not anticipation, but awareness. Awareness that some stories never truly disappear. They settle, they wait, they resurface when the time is right. Whether or not Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan stand on the same stage at Weibo Night 2026, this moment has already reshaped the emotional landscape. Fans remembered how to feel without demanding, how to hope without entitlement, how to support without noise. That alone is powerful. If the night arrives and nothing happens, the fandom will survive it, because they've learned how to carry quiet disappointment with grace. And if something does happen, even something small, it won't feel like a climax. It will feel like a breath finally released after years of holding it in. Because this was never about reunion headlines. It was about emotional continuity, about knowing that stories don't need constant visibility to remain real. They only need respect. So now, as the calendar moves closer and the industry stays silent, one truth becomes clear. This story is no longer owned by speculation. It is owned by the people who learn how to love it quietly. And whatever Weibo Night 2026 brings, presence or absence, this chapter has already proven something unforgettable. Some connections don't need confirmation to matter. They simply endure. And sometimes, endurance is the most powerful ending of all.